Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and yes indeed, we're going to dive in just a little bit to the world of KO Masterpiece. Now in the past, I've looked at some that have been pretty darn successful at a fraction of the price. I've looked at some that have been a little less than perfect, but again, being a KO, what do you expect? And then there's the bottom of the barrel, sadly. With this guy. This is a KO of Masterpiece Ratchet. And I'd really like to be able to say that this is very good. Unfortunately, there's a lot not good with this particular KO. Talk about rolling the dice, and sometimes it's going to come up snake eyes. We're going to explore this guy in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. This is a KO of Masterpiece Ratchet. And it looks like a great robot here, but you know, when you go the KO route, it's going to be hit or miss, right? Hopefully it is a hit and it's as good or better than the original, but sometimes, man, sometimes they're just not good. I feel like there were some shenanigans that happened here. I feel like this guy should have been good, but this particular copy, on loan to me by our buddy Justin from the 3D Corner, is wrought with a lot of QC problems, and some of them are baffling. You'll see what I mean, because we're going to head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And so yes, we're finally taking a look at this disaster. Now this is a KO of the MP Ratchet, and I've looked at some KOs of MPs in the past. Here's the thing, I'm not an MP guy. Anybody who knows me and knows the channel knows that I'm not an MP guy. I expect perfection. If you call yourself a masterpiece, I expect perfection. And you need to be 10s across the board. More often than not, masterpieces not 10s across the board. They may have a great look, they may have great articulation, but a lot of them have been prone to breakage, at least insofar as offerings after Ultra Magnus. As for the KOs, I don't expect them, of course, to be perfect because, well, they're a KO. However, there are varying degrees of good and bad. Now, I've looked at some tremendous KOs. For example, the Blue Streak was really good. I was a bit disappointed with the tabbing and tolerance on the KO for Wheeljack. They were the Tasakatoni ones. This one is a like full-on fourth-party KO of the actual thing, and it did not work out well at all. But we'll get into it because this is the packaging. I don't know what this sticker is, but I'd say way to ruin the packaging, but the packaging is a knockoff, so like, what do you expect, right? You know, it has what you would expect on the Ratchet Masterpiece packaging because it's a facsimile of it, right? Basically. And of course you can see he comes with a bevy of accessories. There you go, that's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, it's early in the morning. You might hear me drinking my coffee a little bit because I'm trying to get things done here for you. So, that's the box. Nothing interesting there. We've got a pretty giant two-sided set of instructions. I'm probably going to refer to these as we go through if you hear ruffling off the screen. On the other side we have the actual directions. On this side we see how you use all of the accessories. But I wanted to point out this side because a little while ago we were kind of talking about I guess the accessory that comes with the Earthrise Ironhide and Ratchet and Shattered Glass Ratchet and DK2 Guard. And a lot of people said, I don't like the parts forming where the roof comes off. And I said, well, that's actually a thing that was in the show. It's called the One Box. And people were like, no, it wasn't in the show. You're wrong. Yeah, it was. It was in the very first episode. Ratchets is right there, and Ratchets is right there. So it has actually been in the show, and it is a thing that should be included because it was in the show, and because it's, you know, that thing that one time, but it was there. Naturally, we're going to get it here and accessories that go with it. This came to our buddy Justin from the 3D Corner from Show Z Store, and he got the Optimus card. I will tell you now, he did contact them about this product because it was in such bad shape, and to their credit, they did him right and gave him full store credit for this. And I think it was the right move. It was definitely taking care of your customers. I respect that. Oh, we've got a collector card. You can see the stats. Oh. You can see the stats down there. Sorry, that was a reflection. Not as high as you'd think, you know, other than the obvious ones that would be high. And, of course, the art on this side. Plus an alternate chest, I guess heart monitor, readout, and a sticker sheet. I mean, none of these are really the simple red cross that he had on his shoulders. Of course, I'm pretty sure that's like a copyright, trademarky type of issue. So, you know, these are fine. I guess you got your pick of what ones you want to use. Our boy comes with not one but two cyber spanners. Looks like a wrench to me. But what do I know? Because apparently this is a cyber wrench. I believe this is his laser scalpel. Pretty sure this is the X-ray blaster. Good old repair beam emitter. A blast effect, and what I want to call his arc welder. An alternate face. Actually, this is the face that was on him in package. It's been changed out because there's a great big notch groove taken out of the nose. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but like there, it's like somebody took like a knife or something to the nose and notched out a big groove. It's awful. Our boy has two of the exact same blaster. These aren't chrome, these are silver. It's a mix of like grays, gunmetal grays, silvers, and chromes with these accessories. It's really weird. A chromed out anti-flyer missile. And that of course goes into the chrome missile launcher. It has a white armature. Static laser gun. I'm gonna tell you now, I think this is the one that goes in the top of the Vanette mode. But the panel that flips around for it, I can't get to move. So this won't be going in the top of the Vanette mode. I think that's where it goes. And Ratchet's one box. Honestly, I feel like this is really plain. I get it, it's white, but I don't know. I wish there was more of a skid on the bottom, or maybe the red line on the side. Just something to jazz this up a bit. But this is molded fine. It's nice, it's white, it's clean. And this is the one box with everything kind of attached to it. There's a nice little key in the instructions that tells you where everything should go. The spare face actually goes underneath right here and goes just pegged in. There's a little peg hole there. It's a little bit of a nuisance to get on. I found the number 8, I think it is, the cyber wrench was the biggest nuisance to get on. The rest of this, really, it was toleranced very, very well. I will give credit where credit is due. The one box is quite good. Now we get to the main event. Now I like Ratchet and I wanted to like this, but I can't. You will notice, first things first, the back tires are not collapsed in on like a double hinge right there, the way that they should be. I'll explain why that is later when we do get to the transformation, but if they were in and solid, the guy does roll fine, but I think the design of the double hinge back here is atrocious. I don't know if it's any better on the official, but it's two very thin hinges that are very, very tightly toleranced on this guy, like scary tightly toleranced. I would assume that the official is much better and toleranced much better and a lot easier and smoother, I would guess. But what about this guy? I said it's a disaster. So it is a disaster. Let's start kind of talking about how it's a disaster. On the front, right away, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's like brown grated in dirt all over here. It's like it was rubbed in clay and then somebody tried to wipe the clay off and somebody said to him, hey, why don't you use some soap and water? And they were like, I don't want to ruin the paint. So this was the best they could do. We have multiple scratches up here in the paint and notches, and again you can see the dirt up along the edge up there. Coming down the side, the panels underneath here, they have like a crud on them. I cannot turn this panel at all. If I push the light bar down, though you can do that, This tends to get stuck and it's a bit of a nuisance to get back out. Back here, again, we have the brown, and there was a brown glob of something there. I don't know what it was that was there. Caramel? Rat poop? I don't know. I don't know what it was. So, a lot of notches and cuts and scrapes and all around just dirt. It's really unfortunate, honestly. And as Justin kept showing me pictures and videos of things he was discovering, I was like, oh my goodness, how did this ever leave the factory? Okay, we're gonna do the transformation so I can talk about yet another kind of QC issue. You know what, we'll talk about it when we get there. So the very first thing that we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to kind of pick up the top, which in and of itself is a little bit scary. So, let's see if I can do this now. There. So that whole thing comes up over, right? Obviously this has gone out of screen, so I'm going to have to back up. But before I back up, I just want to kind of get the arms flipped out as well. So we come here, and again, these aren't there. You really got to sort of get your hand in there. And we take these up. These front pieces here are going to go like right up around. I'm going to readjust so that we can see what we're doing up here a bit better. Okay, so now that we've got that done, we need to actually kind of turn the guy around, and I need to slide out this whole piece. It's okay for sliding out, I guess. And the whole thing flips up. Actually, not even down and around, because I got to get these pieces up first. What a disaster. Honestly, like what a disaster of a transformation this is. Hold on. There. So that will come up, and then this one over here, again, you gotta get that down, and that will come up. Why did I need to do this first? Because these two pieces here will go under this, and then that slides back in, so that all of that is tight like that. Now, I'm going to bring the shoulder hinges up and tab them in. I will tell you now, one of these shoulder hinges is broken. It has a crack, not a stress mark, a crack going through it, so it's unnerving. I already told Justin that once I do this, I'm not transforming it back. It tabs up, and then that one also tabs up. Okay, whew, I've done that without breaking the arms. Yay! He's gonna have to print a piece, or he glue it, or use Bondic, or something, because it's outright cracked. And that was a breakage issue that like he showed me before he ever gave it to me, right? Every issue I'm pointing out here to you is an issue that Justin showed me before he ever gave this to me. In fact, he asked me, do you still even want to review this? And I was like, yeah, but if it breaks further, it's not my fault. He said, okay, like duly noted. So, you know, I guess we go from there. All right. So next they say, take out these tires, because they're going to fold all the way in. Now I'm going to, this is uncomfortable. I'm going to get these tires in, and then I'm going to show you the issue that I have and why I didn't collapse them. So can you see the problem? Can you see it? Crack right there on that hinge, and a crack right there on that hinge. Both of these hinges of the back tires are also cracked, just like the shoulder, so real shame. Let's try continuing on with the legs. So we should be able to flip that panel back and this panel down, that panel back and this panel down. We split the legs, and should be able to rotate the toe around and rotate the toe around. Now, you're supposed to be able to take out this chrome bumper on the back. I can't get that to move at all. I've tried multiple times, multiple wedge tools. I can't get it to budge. I don't want to break this anymore. I certainly don't want to scrape up the chrome bumper, so I'm not going to take out what I guess are the heel spurs. Whew. Okay, so that's That's a lot. That is a lot. Where do I go next? So I have that apart and I have those down. Oh, and he does have an ankle tilt here, but these legs need to go turned around. Yeah, like that. Turn the legs around. Because as it is, the ankle tilt will be... Oh, you gotta extend the legs a little bit and turn them around. As it is, the ankle tilt was the wrong way. So yeah, extend the legs, turn them around. Then we want to... This side here needs to like pull out, and this hip side piece needs to pull out, and this hip side piece needs to, golly, there, pull out. Whew! You gotta untab it all and pull it out. Holy Moses! What a ordeal. You straighten up the legs. And now we should be able to stand the guy up, which will make doing the rest of this infinitely easier. Alright, now we take this hip piece that we pulled out and we flip it up, and then the tire comes around the back. There's a little rectangular tab that goes to a little rectangular slot. I already got that done on the other side. There. So I don't need to do it again, obviously. Where do I want to go next? There's so many like moving pieces and parts and stuff on this that it's a little bit bonkers, really. Let's go with this piece next. So we pull this off. We make sure that we push that up all the way because there's a little bumper detail here. All of this comes up over and clips in to give us his like chest and like ab section and whatnot. Some people pull out, you can actually fold out the silver piece under here. Some people do that because they want to cover this hinge with the silver. I get that too. I guess, I don't know if you're supposed to. I haven't really been able to tell if you're supposed to. Maybe you do. Maybe I got that done wrong. Though I don't think I do. Oh wait, maybe I do have that done wrong. Maybe it's supposed to be more like, my mistake, I did have it done wrong. This is the piece that should be shown forward with the silver piece going into the tummy hinge, basically. Okay, like I said, there's a lot going on here. I guess it's the arms. We'll do the arms. Let's do the arms. So the arms come up over his head, and after we got them up over his head, we need to bring them down. This is why I think the shoulder hinge broke. I think it was the bringing them down that did it, to be honest with you. This hinge is tighter. The shoulder hinges are tighter than the pegs that peg the shoulders in. Again, I attribute that to the QC or the tolerance of the KO, not the original. I assume the original tabs in a lot smoother. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would assume that it would. So we got them down. We need to extend them next. So we open that out, we extend this down and this up. We take a wrist and flip it out, and then we should be able to flip this around, but why is this not going all the way up for me now? We open that out, we bring this down, and I thought that should, I'm gonna have to look at that off camera. Bring this out, fold this around, fold that around to tab it in, fold this up and fold this around to tab, oh, that's what it is. It's not that it goes all the way down. It's the way that it tabs in, my mistake. Tab those in like that, and whew, are we done with him? I think we might be done with him. Oh, no. These pieces need to go down on the shoulders to help solidify the shoulders as well. And now, boom, here we have Ratchet in his robot mode. No, I'm not going to waste my time showing all of the accessories. There's so many of them, but basically anything that goes in his hand, like his blaster, has a vertical rectangular tab that goes into a vertical rectangular slot in his hand. It's very run-of-the-mill. If you fold his hand back in, there's a little rectangular tab on the, I'll say like the back of the wrist, and that's what, for example, the arc welder can go on over. So he's, I don't know, welding ironhide, whatever. This piece, if you want to really do it bad enough, you can slot it in behind the windshield. I'm not trying to do it. I tried it a couple of times and I was like, yeah, no, this is a nuisance and getting right on my last nerve. There is a peg hole on the back for the missile launcher to come out over like the top of his head, I suppose. And his wrenches and stuff, you can just put them in his hand and close the fingers around it. Let's get into the scores for this guy so we can get out of here. Okay, so, again, the scores are going to have to be based on my experience with this KO. I understand and I acknowledge that I would expect they would be much higher for the actual one. The coloration should be a 10, no doubt about it. The guy looks pretty darn perfect. If not a 10, a 9.75 because of the hip skirts here, right? But like it's, you know, and like the window back here. I know that that's not animation accurate, but like it should be, if not a 10, a 9.75. This one, because of the notches in the paint and the scrapes and the just dirt, I'm giving it like a 4. I have to, because it looks like it's been run through the ringer. It's like it was left outside for a month and then somebody tried to clean it up and dust it off. You know what it reminds me of? I've said this many times on the channel. When I got my G1 wheeljack, I got him because I found him in the dirt on the side of the road. And I cleaned them up. As a kid, I cleaned them up. And about as clean as he got is about as clean as this thing got. So it's like it came from the dirt on the side of the road. But like I said, by rights, it should definitely be a 10. The transformation, I'm not a fan of the arms at all. At all. I feel like the mechanisms for the arms are very thin. I don't like the back tires at all. I feel like both of those hinges are very thin. On the KO, both are fairly poorly toleranced. I assume that the official has them much better toleranced. There's a lot that goes on here. There's sliders and stuff. Sliders can get stuck. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm going to give it a 7. I didn't find it particularly enjoyable. And of course, I couldn't finish it because these couldn't come out. So where I would give the actual one, probably a 7. Assuming everything works the way it should, maybe a 7, maybe an 8. The KO, again, I got to give about a 4 to, because I couldn't complete it. I couldn't pull these out. I couldn't complete it. There's a brake on the shoulder. There's brakes on the 2 rear tires. Like, that's a fail. I'm saying a 4 because the parts that work well, at least the parts that work well. It's just there's so much here that doesn't work well. Let's get to the articulation. The head goes left, right, up, a little bit, well, not much down, but a little bit. Soft ratchet on the arm. Here, does it go all the way around? I don't think the arm goes all the way around. I don't know if the official does. Bummer. It can ratchet out to the side. But again, at least on the KO, when you go to bring it down, you're going to unpeg the arm because it's not great. It's not great. Again, I would hope that the official is toleranced better than that. But the arms can't go all the way around. What a bummer. There's a waist, which is nice. There's bicep swivel, there's elbow to slightly over 90 degrees, wrist swivel, hinged fingers, so all of that is nice. Back about that far with the leg, that's it. A head all the way, thighs, well actually it's a knee swivel I guess. Slightly under 90 degrees. Not quite 90 degrees. Ankle tilt, that's nice. I guess you could even say like a toe rotation. I don't know if that's any use to you. And goodness, get these back out of the way. Holy. and splits out that bar. I mean, nothing to write home about. The range is eh. Yeah, you can get some cool poses, but I don't know. I wish the hips could go out further. And to be fair, the hips can go out further if you pull these side panels out. I wish the arm went all the way around. There is a little bit of back elbow. So there's hollowness back here in the arm for a masterpiece. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the Titans, not the Titans, I feel like the Siege and the Earthrise is winning when it comes to the articulation. The range of motion on the main line is way better than this. 7 maybe. So for the KO, we had a 4, and a 7. And I think my 4s were generous. Overall, this is a 5 maybe. You know, it's nothing great. The official, we would have had, say, a 10 for the look. The transformation would have been, say, an 8. The articulation, 7. Again, I don't think it's Masterpiece. It's not perfect. Is it a decent ratchet? It looks the part, but I wouldn't want to have to use it all the time for animation. You can do well with it. If you're a Masterpiece collector and you're cool with it and you see that value and that's where your collection is, then yeah, Ratchet's fine. He's great. If you're looking at it objectively in terms of functionality and look, the look is there. There's no doubting it. There's no other Ratchet that touches it. The articulation, the main line has done better with the articulation. The transformation, I feel like the main line has done a simpler transformation, but admittedly, the look of the vehicle mode is very clean here. I don't so much think it was a bad transformation for the time, but I think now, all this time later, I don't think it has actually aged that well. KO gets about 5. The official, from me, would get about a 7.5, maybe an 8, let's say an 8. So it's not bad, but it's not perfect. And here we are, and here he is once again. Okay, so we're gonna start with the bad first. The bad is, he's dirty. Like, in a lot of places, a lot of panels, very dirty. And like, I honestly don't know how you would clean it all. I really don't. Unfortunately, because he's so dirty, it also affects the robot mode, especially the chest. The chest is filthy. A broken hinge. I'm saying broken. Now, to be fair, I don't see the break, but I know Justin has pointed it out to me. So I've been very much using the shoulders with kid gloves. Very much. I don't know if the official is stronger in this area, but to me, to have a ratcheted shoulder hinge when all that's holding the shoulder up is a little tiny tab here is, I think that's a terrible design choice, personally. Terrible. Like, not even a little bit good. Besides for the dirt and the shoulder breakage, I mean, I can't get the heels out at all. I can do what I like, but I can't fold them out. I mean, maybe somebody else can. I can see the pin, but I can't move it. Then there's the piece of brown gook that was on the back. I don't know what that was at all. And then the back tire hinges are broken on both. I mean, this was an example of, oh, not to mention the face was all, like, this is the alternate head because the regular head is all jacked up around the lips and the nose. I mean, if I paid money on this, I would be very disappointed. Here's the thing. I have to believe that something happened. I don't know if it was a return. I don't know if it happened at the factory level. I don't know, but there's so much QC wrong with this that I can't believe that there was a whole, like, batch that was done this way. Like, I don't know why this one had so many. To Shozy Store's credit, when our buddy Justin contacted them about this, they I mean, basically gave him store credit for the full amount. And so they should. I think that was wonderful customer service. But this, not one of the better quality products. Could the KO of Ratchet that others get be much better? Sure. Is the official much better? I would certainly hope so, but I don't know because I've never encountered that one. But I know here that there's some tolerance issues. There's some design choices that I think were not good choices. Like I said, the whole shoulder assembly, I don't think is a good choice. The double hinge used for the back tires is so incredibly tight that it's terrifying to move, to be quite frank. There's an excellent look here, right? The guy looks like he jumped off of the cartoon, other than these side panels, but I mean, it is what it is. I would say you can't expect perfection, but again, as I have stated many times, for Masterpiece, I do expect perfection. I didn't mention that these flaps can move, by the way, but they can. There was potential here, but it feels very unfinished. I don't know if the official feels more finished, but I know that in my experience with this particular KO, it is something that I would have looked at based on the visage here and said, wow, I can't wait to handle that. And after handling it, I'm sorely disappointed. Let me know what you think of this KO of Ratchet. Let me know if you know the official Ratchet, how much better that one is than this one. I'd love to hear from you guys about that. I appreciate you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube at any time and become a channel member. Also hit the subscribe button, stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. Don't forget that somehow, man, some way, each and every single solitary day, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way right here inside the video.